Well, good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself on the show this evening. It's Bridgeman and my mate, Big George Logan. How we doing, boys?
How are you doing tonight, boys? Hope you're all well. Looking forward to a wee player about the Rangers tonight, Ox.
Can I just say a big good evening to you two guys? Huge good evening to the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Right, I've got this box for you, Bridge. I've got it all made for you.
Right.
Slot in the top it. There you go. You can put that next to you. £2 coin every time you have a bad word. Yeah.
A bad word, right? Okay. So there'll be no bad words then. There'll be no bad words.
Holidays next year, George.
Oh, it definitely will. I don't know what's happened in the last few, but you're right there, Bridgeman. Get it set up beside him. We'll have a wee pay at the end of the season.
Oh, shockers. A pair of shockers.
£2 a go, Bridge.
£2 a go.
£2 a go. We'll all be going on that ship. The Rangers team were on the other night there, Bridge.
That'll be difficult,
George,
I'll tell you.
George, you don't need to go on it, mate. You'll be able to buy it with Bridge.
Hey. Oh, no, that's cruelty. Cruelty.
Well. I'm no one for spreading rumours, as you well know, Bridge. But I heard Fox and his mate getting a bit of trouble on Morrison's Saturday morning.
Morrison's?
I get caught stealing a calendar. They get 6 months each.
6 months each.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
Brilliant. He'll be raging at you now. He'll be raging at you.
Right, okay. We never won a football match. Some people think it's the end of the world. We grew Easter Road. We should have won the match. So we're going to hear the view from the bridge.
Yeah. Once again, it's watching the game, the whole game. And I thought that Rangers should have won the game quite simply. Should have won the game easily. Had every opportunity to do it. Fought back from somehow or other. We managed to scramble the ball towards the Hibernian people, and they managed to put the ball in the net. And our defence weren't at the show at all for that goal, first goal. I think further to that, we did really well. I was really happy. Started to get our foot on the ball. Started to play football. Some wonderful passing games. And which time the Hibs, I'm afraid, just wanted to kill us. They just wanted to put the boot into a whole load of Rangers players and try to really and truly try to take them out of the game and cause injury. That's my opinion. That's what I feel has happened. We got a good equaliser, super equaliser, and then we scored up, go 2-1 up. And from then on, we've been here before. We've seen this play, and we've been part of the play as well. And for some reason or other, we didn't think we'll tighten up in the midfield, or we'll tighten up here, or tighten up there. We just started to attack again to try to get the third goal. And for some reason or other, it just didn't happen because something happened at the back. One of our players, normally the best player in defence anyway, normally the best player in defence, the most solid, and it just didn't happen for him. Something's happened to him. I don't know whether he got booted or what happened to him, but it just didn't seem to like what was going on. And I can just say that when they scored the equaliser, that epitomised just exactly what our defence was like. There was so many mistakes in there. I'm saying that their goal was so many mistakes in their second goal. It's just unbelievable stuff. So all I can say is Rangers need to do far, far better than that. Otherwise, we're just going to continue to do these things. And we can't afford to do that. Mm-hmm. We couldn't afford to not to get 3 points yesterday. We had 3 points in the bag and we decided to give it away again. Terrible stuff. That was a view from the bridge. I do think from the bridge.
I liked it, mate. I liked it. I enjoyed it. As always, mate. As always, I like to hear your views. George, we've not heard from you yesterday, mate. I know you were busy over the weekend, so give me your thoughts.
Well, the thing is, Ox, you said it the other night. We dropped 2 points. That's what happened yesterday. We dropped 2 points. I'm not going to go the score about it because we're going to drop points. If we go all the way through the season getting a Bridgeman in every game, we'll all be absolutely delighted. There was a few guys in the team running up to full marks yesterday, Ox, and I think we could have changed a couple of things in the end. I thought there was a couple of people culpable for the goals, but people's not going to like what I'm going to say. I still see us march your own, Ox. I still see it. I can still see a decent team in there, and we're going to make mistakes, and the manager's going to make mistakes. But this is the kind of time we need to get behind the guys. Let's say, for example, Tav or Golson, whoever. It doesn't matter who it is. I'm not going to single folk out, but it's time to get behind these guys. They've done us a good job up to this point. I mean, we'll go marching on again, Ox. In my opinion, that's how I see it, Ox. We should have won the game. We're the better team by a mile. Play them 5 times in a season, we'll beat them every time. Apart from that one, we'll get a lucky one, and that's what happened yesterday. We need to dust ourselves down and get marching on again. Big game on Thursday night, a big game on Saturday. It's as simple as that, Ox. That's the way I think we've got to look at it.
Bridgeman, are you saying that we're too offensive? Is that what you're saying, mate?
They were too offensive. Is that what you mean?
We're too offensive. We're always looking to play the game properly.
Well, yes, indeed. I think at 2-1, we should have put the brakes on a wee bit. Canberra Jets and just held what we've got for a wee while before we got a bit adventuresome again. But it didn't happen. They put on they made a couple of substitutions and pushed up, and we got left somewhere along the line. Some of our players get left out of the game altogether, in my opinion. I do think, though, and I say this, I don't like to say these things, but once again, I must say, the referee didn't do Rangers any favours at all.
Well, here's the first £2 coming. No,
it didn't. It didn't do us any favours. And this nonsense about giving a free kick when a red card, and a free kick and a yellow card when it's a straight red, absolutely disgraceful at times. Like, I'm not going to say too much more because I'll just start swearing.
Me yesterday, Bridge, really, the one that annoyed me the most yesterday. The rake down Ryan Kent's leg.
Disgraceful.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgraceful.
Do you know what that would say? That's a coward's challenge, mate. An absolute coward's challenge. The boy was that far away. He must have been social distancing away for the ball and rakes his studs down the back of his leg.
There's only one thing he wanted to do there, Oxchair. He only wanted to cause injury. That's all he wanted. He wanted to get him and lay one on him. Can you hear the way the pundits talk? It's all right. It's a game of football, man's game. I'm sorry.
It's interesting to see when somebody does that to somebody else in another team of how that's received. Look, all these things are correct. We showed a lot of character, George Logan. We went from 1 down, went 2-1 up. We're coasting. I couldn't, if any team was going to score on our goal, I didn't see it being Hibs. And then, just for whatever, they changed their shape, went a wee bit more offensive, and the wheels just come off. I don't know if it was confidence or just an error was made and then you make another error. That can happen to anybody. You know, and the goal we lost was a catalogue of errors. You could go on, but it'd been offside. It was offside. But then Bonner's header, the clearance by Golson, Tav no broken the cross, Big Hollander getting caught flat-footed. Apart from that, we've done nothing wrong.
Well, that's it.
Offside. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, I think we do the things here, and that's what happened. But I agree with you, I think we were the team looking like we were going to win the game. And you were talking about that challenge here. I'm not going to go on about referees, Ox, because I'm not going to do it. But I mean, the big centre half, Portrace boy, whatever, he's a dirty player. That's what it is. Bridgeman said it 1,000,001 times. He's a dirty player that gets away with these things. Certain centre halves get away with these things because they're clever about the way they do things. He's a dirty player. A couple of players in that team are dirty players, Ox. But for me, I mean, apart from that one, we're just saying about the catalogue of mistakes, Ox. The boys you just mentioned, they'll never put a foot wrong for the rest of the game. It was just that one. I mean, it just went haywire at the last play of the game there, and that's what gave it away. But on the upside of that, I thought Alfie looked fresh again, Ox, and I think he's looking back to his best again. So if we can start getting these players playing round about him, Ox, that two-each draw yesterday. And by the way, that two-each draw that felt like a 2-1 defeat to me, Ox, because I think that's how. I think we deserve the win. I think we've got to turn more of them into wins than we're going to lose at the end of the season. That's why I'm still confident. I was saying a few weeks ago about the way we play football, and it's exciting. Ryan Kent, I mean, a lot of people would know about Hadji and things like that, the wee touches, the wee flicks. We need to start doing that bit of winning games, Ox, or sometimes maybe just a wee bit too pretty and too nice. Try to walk the ball in the back of the net. Let's just get the ball in the back of the net and start, because we've got a good team, Ox. I'm still confident in the team we've actually got in the park. And the players that were on the bench were decent enough players as well. So I'm still confident in going forward, Ox. I really am.
I think, everybody sees the game slightly different. Hadji, nice pass for ball played in by Tav. Nice pass, 1-2. Well, I don't know if it was a 1-2 or he played it first to Scott Arfield. Really nice goal. But for me, it doesn't give enough. Because the game's not just played like that. You need to offer more. But we'll see. The manager's got to make that decision going forward. I'm not denying the boy's got ability. You can see he's got touches and flicks and other things, but I don't think he offers enough. And I thought yesterday he didn't have his greatest game. And Kamara, it reminded me more of his performance in the Livingston game. But what we don't know is that if that's a role Bridgman is told to play by the manager.
Yeah, we're not 100% sure on that. I think he's playing very well. I don't have any problem. And you see when he goes through the game, he doesn't get battered and things like that because he stands up. I just think people like Hadji and Kent, they're very light, and their game's all about their pace and trickery type thing, and they get absolutely whacked. And I think I'm watching it, and all the fans are watching it. You can say all you want about it, but somewhere along the line, the officials who are watching this must say this has got to stop. You can't keep battering people. It's a game of football that's supposed to be about skill. So what you're doing is you're going hitting the guys that have got a skill and leather them because they're too good for you. That's really what you're doing. You're making that trying to level the playing field up. I'm sorry, it's not good enough. No for our club. I'll tell you that. No for our club. Because our club, that young lad Kent, for instance, like I think it was £7.5 million or something we paid for him. That tackle there could have put him out for 6 months or 9 months. It could have done.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with that tackle, that for me was even worse out of a lot of them. With the tackle last week on Morelos, there's a trend. I'm in the George camp, but Bridgman, I know the officials are appalling. I know they're appalling. But I don't think the club can come out and argue about every free kick, every non-red card. That's what we'll do. We'll debate it. If the time's right, I'm sure the club will say what they have to say, But it's a difficult one for the club, George, because if you don't, it would be every decision you'd be arguing against, wouldn't it?
Well, it seems to be that way. The new Oaks, it's every single week. I mean, the one last week, we're absolutely lucky that we Alfie managed to get up and rub it down and play the Fulham game and score a couple of goals for us, by the way. But and I mean that one at the weekend, I can see everybody's point. You could go to the board and say, look, let's have a word with somebody here. That's every single week. This is happening, Oaks. But for me, dust yourself. It's a man's game, Ox, and I can people are getting injured and things like that. But I hate always running referees and things like that. I think we're better than that, Ox. We're going to drop points, Ox, and sometimes people say it's just a wee bit swerving, but it's actually a big problem there. You've said there, our defence made problems there. There was a catalogue of the problems, mistakes happened for us to lose that goal. So let's focus on that and let's make that better. Because we can't control what other people are doing to our players. We can control our players on the park. And the thing is, see when we start winning games and putting runs of games together, again, we've just went a good run there, no loss in the goal and things like that. If we went a few more games without losing goals, people will start taking notices. Because I don't care what anybody says, going to Easter Road, I think we've, in the last 8 games, we've only been beat after them 3 times or something like that. We've dropped points them 3 times, and we've hammered them in some games, 3-0 in the last game of the season. And things like that. So they had a good start to this season as well. So it was always going to be a bit of a tough game. We've went there and we've dropped 2 points. We dust ourselves doing Ox, but I didn't like the one we've always got to go run into somebody just to get, Ken, that one's a free kick, that one's a free kick. We'll let them deal with it. I think if we start winning games, Ox, and then people start taking notices.
Hi, Josh, we put the ball in the net, the tone changes. Sometimes I maybe think that you should come out and complain, Bridgman, when you win the game, i.e. after the tackle in Morelos last week, because you've won the game and you're not complaining because you've no lost. But I don't think you can complain about every single decision, even if you're right, Bridge.
No, I'm not necessarily meaning that Rangers complain about it. All I'm saying is that people who are running football, the rule makers and the rule, whatever they are, the SFA, SPFL, whatever, if they're seeing teams that are deliberately trying to injure other players, they should be doing something about it. You've got a compliance officer. You've got a whole SFA. Every single one of them, they should know what's happening in Scottish football. That performance by some of these Hibs players yesterday wasn't good enough. Very dirty.
They're killing the game, Bridge. They're killing the game. They're
absolutely
trying to take all the skill at the game. Now, people would say back in the day, some of the tackles would have been the norm, and they're right. You know, I know you were a gentleman, Bridge. You always shoot the guy's horn when you picked him up. You know what I mean? But and George, I know you're not known for your fancy footwork when you're playing fives.
No, you're definitely right there, Hawks. I think it came apparent yesterday, Hawks. I think we're still short. I mean, I think a lot of people can see we have got quite a big pool, and I'm going to say it. I mean, see the boys like Jones, and I can people say Stewart and things like that. I don't think we can win the league with these guys, Hawks, and that's me being perfectly honest. I think we still need backup in there, because I think it was the Bridgeman or yourself that said last week, we've already got Jack out, we've got Aribo. Jack and Aribo are probably two, possibly our best midfielders in it. Let's just say Arfield runs into, like you said the other night, they're into Kamara, and that's us doing. That's four. So I think we're a bit short in there as well. I think we need a bit of backup in that. I'm happy with the defence. I think a lot of competition for places there. The goalkeeper's definitely competition for places, and up front we're stronger than we've been for a long time. So I think we just need to get a couple of midfielders in there, one anyway, possibly two, just to strengthen the team, not to strengthen the squad, to strengthen the team. So your Arfields and your Davis and that, they're going to have to really fight for their place if these other guys come in. I really think we are short there, because we've not got anything that can really change it as such, as a lot of our midfielders are really the same for me, Hawks, if you know what I mean.
We've got some nice football players, George, and if that's a criticism, I'll accept it. You know, I mean, it's all, even over the goat Kamara, over the goat Hadji, they're nice football players. Ryan Kent shows a lot of bravery to me, mate. He takes the ball and he's getting abuse, physical abuse with his tackles. It's going on him, and he keeps going and going and going. I mean, he did the best bit of skill yesterday when he nutmegged that boy about 30 yards out. It's not the admission money alone. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
The last time I seen something like that happen was when Bridge nutmegged Fox in the Rangers radio final side. You know? But we should have won the game. We're all frustrated, but we've got to put it in context. We're still top of the league at the moment. That's what the league table says. People will come and argue about our team, but that's not what the league table says. The league table says we're top. All right, we know it could be better. Arguably, we could have maximum points. Arguably. I don't know. The question I'll put to you two, and I'm going to put it to the callers. Cairo raised a point about us jibbing when he says you get in front and we've got that mental glass ceiling to break through. Do you think that's a point? Or does anybody out there want to give a phone if they think it isn't a point, or do you think there's a mental block? What's the number, Bridgeman?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or joins at Skype at rangersradio.online. If you phone in, hang up, and we will phone you back as quick as we possibly can. Hang up, and we will phone you back. Sometimes there's other people waiting, so just show a bit of patience. Do you get my point there? Cairo made it yesterday, and last night, quite sad, when I was thinking about it, I said, I wonder if Cairo's got a point.
Well, I was saying that just earlier when we were talking about it. You know, for some reason or other, we go 2-1 up and then we can't hold it. For whatever reason, we just can't hold it. And it's nearly always about to do with the opposition changing their shape and maybe pushing an extra man up the way. And we somehow or other just fall apart. I don't know why. I've got no idea.
So yesterday
did the same thing yesterday. Same thing.
Was yesterday again? We used to whip Hadji off and we go 2-1 up, put Ball again.
My thoughts exactly. I don't know who we would have put on, but yes, I agree. Take Hadji out, because all he's doing is getting battered, bumped here, there and there, booted. Mm-hmm. And the amount of kicking above the grass level there yesterday was shocking. Just shocking. And they're dealing with, I'm innocent, I never did anything.
Right, okay. I don't know, that must be worth £2 in the box. Telling Porkies.
I like your thinking there as well, Ox, and I can see what everybody's saying. I mean, when we struggle to break down some teams, and we've been doing it recently, but sometimes we put that many men behind the ball, we can't do it. And it's maybe no a Rangers way of doing things, Ox, but it's maybe a way of winning games when we do go up 2-1, and that's exactly. I wouldn't take.
Walter would have done it, George.
Aye, exactly, Ox, exactly. That's the thing. I mean, I wouldn't have took Hadji off because he's getting kicked. If Hadji's getting kicked, to tell me either kick back or stand up to it. I take Hadji off because he's not having the greatest game, and you could bring a Balogun on, and I like that thought. If they're going to try and break us down, they're going to a harder job trying to break us down, because that's what teams are doing to us. Ox, it's ugly football, Ken. And that's what we've got to put up every single week. So let them put up. When we get up 2-1, by the way, when they've got 1-0, it's a harder game for us. We score 2 games, and that's us back in the ascendancy. They've got to now break us down. And what you're saying there, that's a great point. Bring on another defender and give them an even harder job of trying breaking us down.
But we've got the players up top. We are filled the way he runs. We Kent and Morelos, that when they become more offensive, George, we're more likely to score.
And hit them on the break, Ox. That's the thing. And we've got better players now. The thing is, when they did that with us, Livingston and whoever it is, does it with us week in and week out, and they've not got the players to maybe do that. They maybe try and get the 1-0 and then shut up shop. We were up 2-1. We can do that. We've still got wee Alfie. And by the way, Ryan Kent, for me, he's excellent now. He's absolutely brilliant. Willing to take the ball. He's fancy. He's got that wee bit of class about him. He really has. We've paid the $7 million. A lot of people say he maybe wasn't worth the $7 million. I think he's starting to show that now. So the guys like that up top, Roof wasn't playing yesterday, but the boys that's up our field, and I think we're capable of scoring another goal. So if we bring some down just to shut up shop, and then if they try and break forward, we've got to punish them, Ox. And that's the thing. We need to punish teams, and I think that'd be the way you're doing it.
I was talking to Fox after the game yesterday, and he made a point to me. He thinks that the game would have been so much different if Morelos puts that header in and we go 1-0 up. Bridgman, George?
Yeah, I think that header goes in, we're up, but we're running away, and we wouldn't have caught us. We allowed them to settle. We had most of the play, but once again, we couldn't put the ball in the net. So it took us a while to get that first, getting up there and starting to. In fact, they could have scored a goal before us. That's how bad it was for us.
Great save.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm saying that. So all these things are there for us Rangers fans to see, and all the confidence that we had before the game just withered away. It was a great save, but the confidence just started to wither away, and I started to think, wait a minute, we're not attacking very well here. And then, of course, we did start to attack well. But my goodness gracious, we could have scored, I would suggest, 4 or 5 goals there yesterday. In fact, the double chance that Arfield had near the end, my goodness gracious, the goalkeeper brought up 2 really good saves. If he had the ball, a foot to the left or a foot to the right, goalkeeper didn't get it, But good saves never left. Good saves.
The first one in particular, was a good save. The second one, I think Arfield should have scored. And Stevie G thinks that Ryan Kent should have took another touch. Might be a good time to hear from the manager for yesterday. He's all right with that, boys?
Cool.
Yeah, well, get yourself a mute. We'll hear the manager's opinion of yesterday.
Stephen, your reflections on the 90 minutes, please.
Well, disappointed with the outcome, the results. 2 points dropped. I don't think the performance overall was good enough to win it, although we've had very good chances to win it. I don't think we've defended well enough across the 90 minutes. So go away frustrated.
You showed great character, I guess, to battle back from 1-0 down. How frustrating then not to be able to see it out or add to your lead at that point?
Yeah, well, I think we've got to manage the game better. We showed great character, good quality. The second goal was fantastic to get ourselves in front. But then we go on and give a real sloppy goal away, so that's disappointing.
And I suppose in terms of positives, the goals you scored, there must be a few others you can take away today.
Yeah, we scored 2 good goals, created some real good chances from there as well. Ryan Kent, can he take it on, take another touch and get closer to the goal? Keeper's pulled a hell of a save off. And then obviously Scotty's made a fantastic run, got good connection. It's a good save, but you're expecting to take the second one. So look, I think in terms of creation, we've done enough. But to concede 2 goals away from home, it's very difficult to win football matches.
No Kemar Roof today, is there any update on him?
Yeah, he's been sent for a scan. We originally thought it might have been a bit of tightness in his calf. He thought it was tightness in his calf. On assessment, it was looking that way, but something showed up, so he's going to be missing in the short term.
On to Willem on Thursday. What sort of challenge are you expecting now?
Tough game, good side. really good attacking players in their way. Finished 5th in the Dutch League last year, so they deserve respect. But one thing's for sure, we're going to have to improve from an organisation point of view in defending if we want to progress to that final qualifier.
Well, I mean, he's no one for throwing anybody under the bus, Stevie G, but he's had a go at the defence there, George.
I think that's rightly so, Ox. I mean, we've been on here, and I think the other night there, everybody was praising Tav the night before, and we're saying that, Ken, let's be honest, he's done well for his goals he scored and things like that. So when you do make mistakes in that, Ox, you deserve to get a bit of criticism. I think you deserve to get a bit of criticism. Because it was, like you said, it was a catalogue of mistakes. It just exploded. It's so we were doing great, Oxen, and just exploded right in front of our very eyes. Guys who we can rely on week in. But for me, Goldson has not been a guy who I think we could rely on every day last season. But he's been outstanding for us this season, putting his head in everywhere. And I think he's maybe had a bit of challenge. 2 big centre halves coming in and looking good as well. So he made a bit of mistake. Helander made a mistake. Barisic, who I think has been untouchable for a year and a half now, made a bit of mistake as well. So I agree with him coming out and saying, look, let's be honest, this is where the mistakes were made. And the one way I feel as well, Ox, it was a world-class save. It was a great save. And well done to the goalkeeper for getting to the second one. But for me, Ox, I think Arfield should be putting that in the back of the net. He shouldn't get a second chance to get a hand near that. The goalkeeper should be going in the back of the net way as well. Maybe that's where the niceness comes from as well, Ox. Ken, you're a bit too nice and should be battering that right in the back of the net for me.
Hi, you mentioned Warner then. I didn't think it was one of his fine performance yesterday. I think he made an error in the first goal, but I just felt as if when the winger miscontrolled that was a spring for him to come and stop the winger tackle and stop the cross.
Absolutely, pal. Absolutely. But there's quite a number of wee mistakes that we made in both goals. And actually, it ends up quite calamitous. But I don't criticise the centre halves too much, as you know. But yesterday, I could criticise them a lot. The first goal,
you're in the centre half union.
Well, I thought Helander had a dreadful challenge. I mean, he should be just standing up there and getting into block. But he's went and when he went to ground, and I don't know why he's went to ground. Maybe he slipped. I don't know. But that guy, the ball's with the guy, and the guy gets it in there, gets his good shot, and he's left. But the ball went nowhere near Helander, and he should have been out there, just running out there to block the ball in somewhere. I'm blaming him as for his part in it. I thought the goalkeeper didn't cover himself in glory either. I think the ball went through his legs. So these kind of stupid things, they do happen. I'm not
really blaming goalie for the ball.
No. I'm saying there's parts. Different players had terrible moments, and each one all adding up to them losing.
Do you know mean that Barisic should have been out and broke?
Barisic should have been out and blocked the ball from coming in.
You said Helander there, mate.
No, I'm saying Helander in the middle when the ball did come in, first goal. Helander sitting there. That's his left. Hitting the left side of the goal, the ball goes in. He should have been standing up there and blocking that, in my opinion.
All right, okay. So come and join us. What's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. We've brought in a call by Fox and Old School Blue. If you're using the phone in, hang up, and we will contact you back as quick as we can. George, we have got to watch. We don't overreact. We're really tense. We're tense and nervous, and but we've got to watch. Yeah.
So some people see it, Ox, and I might be blue tinted glasses sometimes, but some people see it. We've dropped the points, and yeah, we're right there. There was, I think, Barisic could have made a bit of difference in the 2 goals. By the way. Tav had a bit of play in one of the goals, Helander, and that's fine. I'm not just saying the guys because we dropped points. The guys did genuinely make a bit of mistake at some point for the 2 games, but let's not go over the score. Alfie was still good yesterday. Ox Kent was still good yesterday. I thought Steve Davis was. I thought these guys were still. They still had a half decent game, Ox. So I'm not going to go the score. And you know what? We've still got a good team. We're still making massive improvements. We've still got guys out there that can win games for us. All we needed today, yesterday, is when they started to come out and try and play. We should have played them off the park yesterday, Ox. And it's one of the games where let's not go over the top about it. We've dropped 2 points. It did feel like a defeat because we've been playing that well. We've not lost a goal, and we've had it all gone our own way. And now we've dropped a couple of points, and it's people have got to go and everybody's back. Well, no, for me, I think we go Thursday night and win the game, and go out on Sunday and win the game as well. And it's not forgotten about Ox, because on here we always go back to that one. It could have been. But I still think we go marching on, Ox. I really honestly believe that we've got the team and the players and the manager. Folk have been even hanging with the manager today. I think we're doing just fine in the Ox. Obviously, we want to keep winning the games. We're dropping points in, but I think we'll come good.
All right. I mean, the manager. I don't agree with everything the manager done. Nobody will. I mean, but it's only hindsight. You know, I'm not. I think I've said it before. I don't know if the boy Haji's ready to be playing every week for us. He's definitely got ability, but in these physical games, Bridge. But the manager sees the game the way the manager sees the game. He's entitled to his view, yeah.
Oh yes. And he's done not too bad up to now. I would imagine everybody would reckon. Our biggest difficulty, of course, is we're looking forward right into the tail end of the season. What's going to happen to us and so on and so forth. That's the kind of thoughts that go through people's minds. I'm the next game man, and that game's past. We're going to discuss some of it tonight and some of the other things, but we need to start looking for Thursday, and that's what I want to do. Move past that result yesterday. Don't forget it, but move past it and the things that happened on the park. I think the manager talks a lot of sense when he talks about these things, and I think when he talks about Hagi, when we think he's selecting Hagi, he's selecting Hagi for his skill and mobility. The difficulty is he's getting himself wherever he goes. You're ending up with 8 to 10 players inside the box, and Hagi's on the edge of the box, man, and he just runs into 3 or 4 people, and it's so easy to brush off, you know. And any free kicks he could get, he won't get because he's a Rangers player. He just won't get it.
There's certain things.
On you go, Charles.
There's certain things as well, Ox. I mean, we're on here and we're no. Me personally, I'm not picking on like the guys you have mentioned who made the mistakes. They made the mistake, but they've got to stand up to that. But it's, on the other hand, we're reading through Facebook and Twitter and things like that. In the last couple of days, the last 24 hours, I've been looking. If that had been Ryan, if that had been Hagi, or if that had been Tav, and had been their mistakes, I mean, they would have been absolutely vilified completely and utterly, Ox. If it was the guy. So maybe we need to stop being so hard on our team as well for certain things. But I mean, I've heard folk being hard on our team when we're actually still winning games in that, Ox. And we're on here, we're digesting the game for yesterday, and it wasn't great because you know what? We should have beat them yesterday. We should have pummeled them after the park. We've got a better team, better skilled players, and we should have played them after the park. That's why we're so disappointed in dropping the points.
I know a sense of what you say, George, but I think when we have a show in here, we've got to critique, and we've got to, if you think somebody in a good game or bad game, we'll say that, but we'll try and be respectful at the same time. I say that Hagi's got ability. I don't know if places like Eastern Road, Livingston, are the places for the boy, and that'll say, well, you paid £3 million for him, but he's learning his trade. He's got a big reputation, and we'll see where it takes us. It's horses for courses. But in the same token, a guy who's not put a fit rang this season was maybe the biggest bloomer. The whole back four when Golson tried to clear that ball yesterday, and he made a mistake, but so far this season, the boy's been excellent for us. So it's scales, but up and down, and it's a roller coaster. I suppose that's being a football fan, mate.
Yeah, particularly the position we've been in. We're top of the league, and we know what we need to do. And we've got to go to Hibs and beat Hibs. Simple as that. Go to Hibs and beat them. And we had them beat. We had them beat easily. And I thought, we're doing very well. And as you say there, a calamitous error of judgment, in my opinion, and another couple of calamitous defensive errors. And all of a sudden, they're level pegging me again, undeservedly so. And there's nothing I can say about it. And we can't, for whatever reason, we just can't finish. We're unable to put the ball in the net for 20 minutes of that game or something like that. We're trying to get in there and score a winning goal, because we were the only team that were looking for a winning goal. just didn't happen for us. Just didn't happen. Sitters, a couple of sitters we missed,
Aye. Well, we'll see what it takes us. So people want to join us. What's the number, George?
It's 0141 356 1972, and if they phone up and hang up, you'll phone them straight back and get them in the call box.
All right. Where else can you join us, Bridgeman?
You can join us on Skype at rangersradio.online, and Foxy and or Old School Blue will bring you in and enjoy yourself because they're really nice guys. Enjoy it.
Come in and give some views. Everybody sees the game slightly different. I thought Stephen Davis was one of my better players yesterday. I've got to take my hat off to Ryan Kent as well with the bravery he showed after that assault on the back of his leg yesterday by their absolute cowards challenge in my book. Because the boy just kept going. Maybe guys with a lesser bottle would have disappeared, but I've got to take my hat off to Ryan Kent yesterday, George.
I'm really excited about Ryan Kent, Ox. People were saying at the time we spent $7 million on him. We can only spend the money that team think he's worth. It's as simple as that, Ox. It's like us talking about if somebody wants to come in and buy Morelos isn't got to turn around, and we're not got to turn around and say, oh well, we can take him for $2 million because that's what we're going for. It's as simple as that. I'm really, really excited about Ryan Kent now. And by the way, I'm excited about Ryan Kent and Hadji playing together. I think the two are going to become a right good team for us. We've got to get in it. Sometimes you don't get a chance to settle in when you're trying to win titles in Europe and things like that, Ox. But I think Hadji still needs that wee bit of time to settle. He'll really come good for us. And for me, Steve Davis, I didn't have Steve Davis anywhere near the team a few weeks ago. The Rocks, if I'm perfectly honest, I thought he was looking unfit and he was maybe coming to end it. He's really showing his class now. I think he's really showing his class. So for all we're doing about the way we're playing and things like that, Ox, I still think we've got the best team in the league. I honestly believe we've still got the best football team in the league.
Best football team in the league, John.
I think we've got the best football team in the league, and me personally, I've just caned their defence there for making a mistake and losing the goal yesterday. I think we've got the best defence in the league as well, by the way. Our centre half, we were talking last week about our 4 centre halves, big competition. Me personally, I think George Edmondson will probably go on loan. So that still leaves 4 strong centre halves for us for a battle for our places. So I'm still excited about the way your team's going forward, Docs. I really am. And this is a wee blip yesterday. We're going to get wee blips like that, but we're going to come good. And I still believe we're going to win this league, Ox. So it's not done anything for my confidence.
I like George's enthusiasm, Rich.
Well said, George. You try to look for. I'm not a looking forward person, I have to say. But from a bad result, which was yesterday, and yet we were away from home against a team that was lying a one position below us at the start of the game, and we drew at their midden. So in general, it's not a bad result. But we know, and watching the game, and we know how our players can play, and it was a poor result for us. We should have beat that team 2 clear goals easily, in my opinion, easily.
But play warranted that out of the piece. And I just also saw Stephen Davis, mate.
Magic.
Hadji's pass was good. Second week in a row, he's made a nice pass for a goal. But the first goal, Stephen Davis, his pass to Ryan Kent. That's like Glenn Kamara could ask these both to become a better player, George.
Aye, that's right, Ox. I do agree with that as well. But as much as I'm saying I'm excited about these guys and things like that, Ox, one of these guys will need to miss out because I'm thinking there's a midfielder going to have to come into our team, not into our squad, into our team. I think it's in there's things happening right now. I think it's just about maybe a week or something away. So I think we're really trying to get this midfielder, and Steven Gerrard's looking for this midfielder to maybe take a place. He's got to come in. He's want a midfielder to come in and take a starting slot. So if that's Steve Davis or if it's Kamara or Jack, whoever it is, there's one of the guys going to have to miss out. Steve Davis has been excellent for us. Jack was excellent for us as well, and Kamara can be excellent in patches as well. So one of these guys for me is going to have to miss out, and I'm excited about it because at the end of the day, it's going to improve our team, and it means that these guys are going to have a wee bit of pressure to try and stay in the team, Ox.
All right, we've been joined by a caller. Evening, caller.
Good evening, Ox.
How we doing, mate? All right?
It's Dutchy.
All right, Dutchy boy. How we doing?
I can hear that you don't recognise my voice anymore because it's been maybe a year since I phoned in last.
I recognise.
Oh, we recognise your voice, all right. Don't you worry about that.
It was your number I never recognised, Dutchy.
How you doing, British man?
Wonderful, thank you. Hope you're okay
Can't
too.
wait for him, Dutchy. You know what he's like.
I'm
delighted to hear you.
I'm delighted to hear, Bridgeman, you're back to full strength again. Because you went for a rough time, but no,
Yes,
it's the show wouldn't be the same without you, mate.
Oh, these are
You're
kind
right.
words.
I know.
Very kind.
He's right, Bridget. It wouldn't have been the same without you.
Yeah. I was told off by Skipper yesterday because I do get down in the dumps when the Gers either draw or lose. But to me, a draw is as bad as a loss. I get down in the dumps and because I fully expected them to win. I'd forecasted 2-0, and the only man on the park I thought was playing reasonably well was Alfie. The rest of them, no. I always think the world of Kent and the likes of Davis, but they also disappointed me yesterday, I'm afraid.
That was a great team performance. What did you make of that tackle in the back of Kent's leg, Dutchy?
Oh, it was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Robertson is not the worst of refs, and I don't want to be too negative about refs, but he's not one of the worst. But again, there were some very bad decisions made, and it wasn't very, very fair on us. I mean, people keep saying to me, "We need a really rough, tough guy." My own son is saying that, and he's in the lobby tonight. He's known as Domger now. He was Domger. He changed his name from Domger to Utrecht Loyal. So that's my son, who you met, Bridgeman. And a few others have said to me as well, you need a really tough, rough man. And to me, we've had Morelos acting like that for a while, although he meant well. He's not a nasty guy. However, if you have somebody worse than him, who's going to be rough and tough, then they're going to the press is going to come down on us even worse, and the SFA. Because we're Rangers Football Club. We've been too successful in the past. We will be successful again. We are successful at the moment. But whenever we are successful, the jealousy is going to come out, and they want to trample us into the ground. And that's as simple as that.
I get the point. If we fought fire with fire, George, you're going to get a red card, yellow card.
I can totally see Dutch's point, and what Dutch is saying there about Ken Alfie's got a wee bit of aggression about him. We do need somebody else in there. We really do. I mean, I've seen Borna standing up a couple of times, but you've got to be clever about it as well. But just what Dutchy was saying there, I mean, he gets really down. Everybody gets really down, Dutchy, of course we do. But you know what the difference is for me, Ox? I think we've got a team that can win more points and we've got to drop now. Ox, if this was 2 seasons ago, last season or 2 seasons ago, I mean, we've built a right quality squad, Ox. I think we've got a right quality squad and team, goalkeeper and things like that. So for me, I can we've got to drop points. Everybody can we've got to drop points somewhere along the line. But teams have got to take pounds and ziffers as well when we actually start firing knocks, because we've been winning games and we've not been firing all cylinders, if we're perfectly honest. Alfie's been in and out of the team, had injuries, a bit of problems. So that's where I take my confidence to, Ox. I think that when it actually happens, when it all comes down to the thing, we'll be at the top of the league, and we've got the team to actually do it now.
Dutchy, apart from yesterday, what was your views overall? What are you thinking?
Well, I've been very optimistic, as I think most of us are. Listen to the show on a regular basis, as you know. I think we're all optimistic, and we feel that we should get at least one bit of silverware this year, if not, we're in serious trouble. But we are getting better. We are getting strong. I mean, for goodness sake, how many times have we said and reflected where we were now? 3rd division, 2nd division, 1st division, and now Premier League. For goodness sake, we've come a long way, and it does take a long time to get back to where we were on what we were first on a shoestring budget, and now the money is more and more coming in. Europe gives us money, and I can see where some of the guys like JFK, and he's a good guy in Nepal. is on about, and others as well, about, forget about Europe, we want to concentrate in the league. Yes, of course we want to win the league. Yes, of course we want to concentrate on winning that, because that's our pride and joy. That's our bread and butter, if people said in the past. However, money is coming from Europe, and we need money. It's a vicious circle. We need money from Europe in order to invest in our league, in players that can win the league. And it's a vicious circle. Celtic have done it several times. They get the money from the Champions League, and then they drop into the Europa League along with us. They get the money. They can invest the money, get the better players. It will take us a long time, and then we have a good chance to win the league. But no, how come, as somebody said earlier on, a team like Hibs, somebody sitting in the lobbies, spent next to nothing, have a really good manager as well, who's not as famous as Steven Gerrard, and yet they managed to have a draw against it. And you should have seen that. Obviously, you saw the smile, the big smile on his face. Steven Gerrard was a smile. Of course he wasn't. No, none of us were. But Jack Ross was smiling away yesterday as if he won the league. For goodness sake. I think we got, home truth's got to be told. We got to be harder. We got to be firmer. And yeah, well, refereeing is an awful lot to do with it as well. And I don't want to be too controversial on radio, but it's. That Clancy business was absolutely deplorable, and I don't know why there wasn't a retrospective red card given. I'm sorry to be ranting on, but that's just the way I feel.
Oh, you carry on, mate.
I'm doing a bridge, man.
We're going to 10 o'clock. Oh dear. And who's impressed you? You mentioned you enjoyed Morelos, but over the piece so far, Dutchy, who's impressed you this season?
Oh, Kent. I would say Kent. I mean, Alfie. A few months ago, something happened. We don't know. He's put on weight, and maybe his mind was elsewhere. Of course, the birth of his child, maybe that played on his mind as well, and maybe big money luring him away elsewhere, maybe playing on his mind as well. However, now I feel he's turned a corner and he's looking a lot better, and he's looking, maybe because it's like a shop window, that he wants to prove to the world he's still a very good player and he's worth his money, and he's worth a lot of money to us, Rangers Football Club. And maybe that's another reason why he's playing much better. But no, I like what I see, because I was in two minds. I know that on Rangers Radio, people have been in two minds. Some people wanted to go, some people wanted to stay. I've been in both camps, and now maybe more towards maybe he should stay for another season, yes, and help us to win the league. But Kent, my goodness, although yesterday was very disappointing, but Kent, my God, he can twist and turn and play really cleverly, and he's a quite assailant. He quietly achieves what a lot of people can't, and he's clever, and he shows it, and he makes me think of the guy Mackay. Remember Mackay a few seasons back? He was a bit like that initially, but no, he's much better than the guy Mackay. Was that the one that went to Canada or something?
He went to last time. Read him at him. I don't know where he's playing at the moment. The last I seen him in the paper, he was getting involved in hairdressing.
Are you
joking me?
He was playing with Fleetwood. I don't know if he's bought a barber's business or something, or he's getting involved for when he finishes. But that was the last I saw him play for Fleetwood.
Oh, that's a shame. Aye. But by the way, Oxley, you got my message that there's two new potential listeners. One of them is listening. He's kind of shy, phoning in at the moment, but he says he's struggling with the Glasgow accent a wee bit. I don't know the guy, but I've got a bit of.
I can understand when Bridgman's off. He's a bit rough, but somebody like myself is pretty posh,
What a shocker.
I was explaining that to him that George Logan's accent was different from Bridgman, at least more towards the east. But then I've been here 40 years now, so a lot longer, and I speak with a Highland accent, so it's a bit of a difference as well. But not to be confused with my name in the lobby. He's a Dutch Rangers fan. He's a friend of my son's, and he's very, very fanatical about Rangers Football Club. Has been for a number of years, apparently. And he's listening at the moment. I've never met the guy. I don't know what he looks like, but no, it's nice to hear that. And also Tel Aviv loyal, I believe he's a real born and bred Glaswegian. who now lives in Tel Aviv.
Brilliant, mate. Well, you know you've got to watch when you travel from the west to the east, mate.
Yes, mate. I know, brother.
You know, you've got to watch. Anyway, always great to hear from you, mate. We speak occasionally by text. Brilliant to hear from you. You keep me up to date with a lot of things, political and football. And a pleasure to hear from you as always, Dutchie, isn't it? Bridgeman, isn't it?
Absolutely. Top man, that Dutchie.
Well,
and his wife too, the top lady.
Well, it's a shame that we can't meet again for the foreseeable future at the what do you call it, the place again, the Ibrox.
The Bistro.
The Bistro. How can I forget?
Well, listen, the time you go back to Ibrox, the Bistro will all be done up.
Yes. We'll have a license as well.
Fox will have the cookery clothes on as well, I'll tell you.
Aye. We'll have a carry out.
Absolutely.
Or a carry on.
I think people, I mean, obviously life might be taking a wee turn backwards, but people are missing the social events, missing the football. You know, behind that goal, when Narfield scored that goal, I'm thinking, God, all the players should be behind there celebrating that.
I know. You know? Anyway, guys, I have to go now, but I'll be listening because I'm
brilliant,
Dutchie.
Brilliant,
okay, mate. All the best, guys. Cheers, Bridgeman.
Cheers, Dutchie. Thanks for your kind thoughts, pal.
Bye, George.
Cheers, Bridget.
What a gentleman Dutchie is, isn't he?
He is indeed. Very nice guy.
There you go. One of life's good guys. So come and join us in 0141 356 1972 or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. We will run in a call with Fox and Old School Blue. If you phone in, hang up and we will contact you back ASAP. We want to hear your views on yesterday's performance. Dutchie raised a point there about Alfredo Morelos. He thought he was our best player yesterday. I didn't. Thought he done okay. But I didn't think he was our best player yesterday. Good finish for the goal, George, I must say. And then I think he worked hard and look, that's 3 goals in 2 games. So maybe Morelos is starting to give us a return, George.
Aye, of course, Ox. Of course, I thought I was a bit debating about what's going to happen with him as well, Ox. But I mean, you can't argue with a wee guy like that when he's scoring no kind of goals. And he's putting in that kind of performance. The manager came out last week and said he'd been working hard, working tirelessly to try and get back in the team, try and prove himself to the management team to give him that extra chance, Ox. And I think he's taken that chance. Let's be honest, it was Red Innsbruck playing against the other night there, but you've still got to be there to put the ball in the back of the pocket. Nice goal he took yesterday. So, I mean, you said, I think somebody said Steve Davis, and I think Steve Davis, Ryan Kent and Alfredo were all close nearby for the man of the match for me yesterday. I thought they were all decent enough. They're the kind of guys that can open up defences and win us these kind of games, Doc. So for me, a few weeks ago there, I was maybe, if I'm honest, in the camp where Alfredo can go if he wants, because I want guys to be at the club. It's why I be at the club. He showed me yesterday, Ox, that he wants to be at the club. He's wanted to do things for your club and your manager. So I probably took a full swing in that as well. If we've got a guy like Alfredo, as well as the other boys we've just signed, that's why I'm saying I think we've got the best team, football playing team at the New Ox. And a wee bit of building on that, I think we can go a long way with this wee squad we've got.
But we're unlucky with injuries as well, Bridgeman.
Yeah, indeed, pal, indeed.
You know, particularly Big Aribo, which was an innocuous challenge when he fell, and that must have been 6 weeks now.
you know, I'm looking back to all these innocuous challenges, and you count them all up, and there's quite a lot of our players have been injured badly and out of the game for long periods because of some of these innocuous challenges. Going right back to the one we played against, it was at Livingston, Lamy, the big boy Lamy, and he smashed Aribo right in the face, and nearly took his cheek out. You know, just shocking stuff. Not a word said to him. Not a word.
Well, we're playing against him. I think he's been Motherwell now, so we'll be playing against him next weekend.
Yeah. Absolutely. Speaking of Motherwell, I believe they beat Aberdeen 3-0.
Yes.
Wow. I'm sure I heard the news tonight saying that Aberdeen have sold McKenna. Is there any truth in that?
Where he's away, that'll be some centre-half partnership, McKenna, and what was that boy? It was worse, Worrell. No comment.
That's who's away to Nottingham Forest, isn't it?
He's away to Forest, is he?
I don't get that one either, Ox. Again, we're talking about, I don't just get that one either. They look back a £7 million bid for Swansea 2 years ago, and they're saying they've got a substantial bid for Nottingham Forest for him now. So I don't understand how that guy's worth £5 and £7 million. I don't understand that. I mean, that's when I realised. That's when I actually sit down and think to myself for a second. Because me personally, I had a go at Big Goldson for a few games last season. Rightly so. I thought it cost us a few goals last season. But if that big boy's worth £5 and £7 million, poor defence must be multi-million pound worth of.
We'll never get the money. We would never get the money. Somewhere along the line, there's nobody seems to want to do business with Rangers at the top level. That's what it seems like for buying players from Rangers. They'll buy them for mediocre sums, but they'll not pay top dollar or market value, as we call it. There's just for some reason it just doesn't happen.
Oh well, we might be quite happy if.
Oh, I'm delighted. I'd be delighted.
You know, it was an interesting game. A better game, physical contest, a different game than Dundee United. Hibs did open up, George, and try to play positive, which City does at times, but we just need to be that more clinical, maybe both ends of the pitch, a bit better concentrating defending and put away a higher percentage of your chances. Everybody misses chances, George, but we're just going to pick the numbers up a bit.
I think ruthless was a word, Docs. I think Steven Gerrard mentioned that a few weeks ago there, and I think that's the Arfield one. I'm not going to go great back to. I think Morelos missed one as well, but the Arfield one for me, great save for the first one, good save for the second one too, but you've got to put that in the back of the pokey, Ox. That's when you've got to be rushing through and you've got to put everything against it for to get that right in the back of the net, because the keeper had one hand on it, sort of thing, Ox. So I think that's when you've got to be more ruthless, and I think that's where Alfie comes into your team. Alfie is ruthless. Alfie punishes teams and doesn't let up, and even if it's 85 minutes, he's still running, trying to get that last ball and things like that. So I think that's the word we need. We need more concentration at the back and that ruthlessness up top, Ox. And I think that's what we need to start then. Maybe too nice at times, Ox. I think you said that, or Foxy said it a few times. We're a bit too nice. We're sort of becoming the team that Steven Gerrard was as a player, a nice guy and things like that. We need that roughness, and I keep on saying it. Again, we're talking about front and the back now, but I keep on coming back to a Barry Ferguson. We need a Barry Ferguson in our midfield that's going to stand up to challenges. When we get kicked, he's got to kick them back, and he's got to give that wee driving edge just to get us to that next level. Look, I honestly believe we're one player away from having a right finished article. Looks.
It would be a Ferguson for me, but it'd be Ian.
Is that right, Ox? Is that the player you would want in our midfield?
I think as much as I think that Barry had a wee bit more. There was a wee bit more class at times about him, but what Fergie could do for a team, Ian Ferguson, that is just the way I see it, George. Other people might see it different. Anyway, get yourselves in mute. We're going to have a tune.
Back in 1872, down the Glasgow Green, where the River Clyde flows gently through the city, a group of young men whose favourite sport was rowing got their heads together and got the Rangers going. Moses McNeil came up with the name, and down at Fletcher's Hall they played their first games. They then moved the bird back just off the Western Road. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? Didn't you know? Didn't you know we've had the finest team that Scotland has ever seen? Didn't you know that we're Maroons they all adore? We won the cups, we won the leagues more than any other team. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? Didn't you know? In 1877 we reached our first cup final. By 1887 we'd found the Ibrox home. In 1894 we had won our first cup, and everyone knew that the Jars were on the road. In 1899 we won our first league, and the team support had started to grow. By the end of the century we had built our first stadium. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? Didn't you know? Didn't you know we had the finest team that Scotland has ever seen? Didn't you know? start of the new century. William Roden and William Struth set down the traditions, and they're held in the highest esteem by the club. The team dominated all through the 30s. They won every trophy in 1934. Then after the war, they carried on the show. Didn't you know that? Didn't you know that? Didn't you know? Didn't you know we've had the finest team that Scotland has ever seen? Didn't you know that we're the ones they all adore? We won the cup, we won the league, more than any other team. Didn't you know that? Didn't you know that? Didn't you know? In 1969, we won our first treble. Scott Simon arrived to carry on the dream. The first British club to reach a European final. Then Jim Baxter arrived to grace the field of dreams. After Davy White, Willie Waddle returned to win the Cup Winners' Cup. In 1972, Barcelona was the place we all wanted to go. Didn't you know that? Didn't you know that? Didn't you know? Didn't you know we've had the finest team that Scotland has ever seen? Didn't you know that we're the one they all adore? We won the cups, we won the league, more than any other team. Didn't you know that? Didn't you know that? Didn't you know? In the 70s, Jock Wallace led with a new confidence. Went into trebles in 76 and 78. The next to lead was the legend John Gray, the one who was voted the Ranger of all time. Then in the 80s, with Graham Souness, the Rangers went from strength to strength. With Walter Smith, we won 9 in a row. Didn't you know that? Didn't you know that? Didn't you know what? Didn't you know we've had the finest team that Scotland has ever seen? Didn't you know that we're the one they all adore? We won the cups, we won the league, more than any other team. Didn't you know that? Didn't you know that? Didn't you know? Dick Advocat was our first foreign manager. He took over to help rebuild the team. In the first year he won 5 to 6 trophies. He has back to the Rangers dream. Now Alec McLeish has come to take the helm. The dream will be there for him to sustain our success and our support. We'll continue to grow. Didn't you know that? Didn't you know that? Didn't you know? Didn't you know we've had the finest team that Scotland has ever seen? Didn't you know that we're the one they all adore? We won the cups, we won the league, more than any other team. Didn't you know that? Didn't you know that? Didn't you know? Didn't you know we've had the finest team that Scotland has ever seen? Didn't you know that we're the one they all adore? We won the cups, we won the league, more than any other team. Didn't you know that? Didn't you know that? Didn't you know?
All right, you back, boys?
Indeed.
Back in Ox.
What do you think that song was called, Bridge?
Oh, I don't know. It was quite interesting. It's a different number. A different number. Quite interesting.
Didn't you know that, Bridge?
No, I never knew it, no.
Sorry, George, I couldn't help it.
I didn't know either. Didn't you know? Didn't you know?
I was a bit stumped with it.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Right, okay. Come on, it's a call-in show. Come and speak to George and Bridgeman. 0141 356 1972. I'll join us on Skype at rangersradio.online. We've brought in the call with Fox and Old School Blue. Phone in, hang up, and the boys will phone you back if you're using the phone line. I think Fox has joined us, who's calmed down a wee bit after yesterday's result. We'll get his thoughts during his time to reflect. Evening, Fox.
Evening, lads.
We'll get yourself on mute. Turn the show off, James.
Yeah.
Evening, lads.
All right, how we doing, James? All right, mate?
Yeah, hello?
You turn the show off, James, yeah?
Yeah, so...
Right, how we doing, mate? All right?
Yeah, I just want to, I'll not be too long because I've got to go and do something. But yesterday's game, I was disappointed in the defence. I know that some people, I respect all players, but Tavernier's never going to be a favourite of mine, to be honest, because I think he's not a great defender. I think he actually tried to hold up the guy instead of closing him down, and that's what you can't do because you get the crossing. But we'll not blame him altogether. But I thought the defence was pretty bad. I think we definitely need not aggressive midfield. All of them need to step up and be a bit more aggressive. You see that the Hibernian centre-back's got a picture of him all over Morelos, and that's ridiculous. Not, I mean, the way they treat each other, etc. It's terrible. So Rangers players have got to rise to the occasion, playing a game. And I also think Willem II is a very good team, and these players, there's about 4 players I would like Rangers to sign, so we'll see who does the best. But Nunnally's very good Ajax player. They'll be good down the wings, and they've got a Greek centre forward. So I just want to make that point. I was disappointed. I think we're a bit too soft still.
We all were, mate. We all were.
I think we're too soft.
Yeah. Can I come right back to you when we join our caller, James? Evening, caller.
Hello, lads. How you doing?
What is your name, mate?
Dave from Corby.
Oh, Dave, I never recognised your voice there. All right, mate. What's on your mind?
How you doing, lads? You okay? What do you reckon of the game yesterday, then?
Bridgeman can take that.
Dave, I thought it was very poor. I thought we were very poor yesterday. Overall, we were the better team, and we should have won it. But our performance, particularly defence performance, wasn't our best. We went a long way with no let a goal in, and all of a sudden we let 2 in. Just crazy stuff, just crazy stuff.
Yeah, I know. I watched the game yesterday, and the first 20 minutes we couldn't get the ball, could we? We had one shot on target all through the game. And in the second half,
that is good news. I didn't realise you had TVs in Corby, James. Dave, that's brilliant.
No, but the first 20 minutes, we couldn't get out of our half, could we? We had one shot on target until we got into half-time. And I don't know what Steven Gerrard said, but we started to play more football. But I'm just a little bit disappointed, But at the end of the day, we're still at top of the league, and we've just got to get behind Steven Gerrard, and then bring it home at the end of the season.
Hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right, James. That's a good point that Dave makes there. I mean, we've discussed on here quite often. Is it need a bit more consistency over 90 minutes?
Yeah, sometimes I just don't. You know that they're going to play the aggressive way. That's the way you beat teams like Rangers. This is going back years that teams used to play like that. I've said about the cup final, my famous watch. I watched that game. I was really disappointed. They target players that they think are weak, and they'll be aggressive against them. That's the way their tactics are. So we've got to be stronger. And even sometimes I wonder why, I was playing a little game on Saturday, and we were playing against girls from a local college team, and I was only on for 15 minutes, and I put the arm across the girl to stop her play. It's just natural play. And with football, sometimes I've fought with people, and I'm a Christian type of thing. It's just that I just think they're too easy going in these guys. Why do we not? I've never saw Tavernier take someone out the way they do it. Why does he not do it? He's Golson as well. Why do we play this namby-pamby stuff? Fire with fire. We'll struggle to win the league because Motherwell
is it brain against brawn? Is that what Gerrard would say? If he was here, mate, he's trying to make us a smart team, play with the brain, no with the heart.
Yeah, but you've got to be physical as well. You know what I mean? If a guy's aggressive, you've got to be aggressive against him. You can't just let them. Because that's what happened in the game. How many goals did we lose over the last 3 seasons by a cross coming in, somebody heading in the ball into the goals? We lose too many over the years. You know what I mean? It's too many times. That's the only time they'll score, and they always seem to do it. So That's the thing. I think we've got to be more aggressive. We're far too soft. I've said it for years. We all need to rise up. We need aggressive midfield player, and we should be saying to our players, "You go on and get a booking, and we'll take you off and bring another player." Treat them the same way. If they're going to be like that, well, we'll do the same. We'll send a guy on. We'll clatter one of their players, book him, and we'll get 5 substitutes now. I mean, see if they would like it. They wouldn't. They're too soft.
Yeah, but I was just saying that yesterday, was the linesman blind? Because it was well offside, that goal.
It looked half a yard offside when it was played into him. Georgie Logan.
Aye. I agree with James saying there. I think we need to be. I think we need to start playing them at their game, Ox. I really do. I mean, I think when Alfie got Hindmead last week, I think it was the best thing for Borna to go off because he just went out the top bit. And that's why I'm saying, just saying about Ian Ferguson, guys like Barry Ferguson, we need somebody in there that's got to stand up. And I hate to say it, but they've got one or there. It's like we kicking the right in each other's faces and backing each other up. We need that, Ox. We need just one guy in there just to ruffle up the feathers, want to kick people but can take a kick in that as well, Ox. Because, I mean, these guys at Kilmarnock, that boy Powers, another boy, kick people up down the park, but they can take a kick back, Ox. I think that's maybe what we're missing for our team, Ox.
Anyway, I think we'll beat Motherwell. Is it Saturday, is it? Kick-off?
Sunday the game is.
Sunday, yeah. Do you think we'll beat Motherwell?
It's a hard game again. It's another hard game. I mean, they've just put out the other day there and took 3 goals off Aberdeen in the first half.
I know, I've seen that, yeah.
It's got to be another hard game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a hard game. Every game's going to be hard for us. You know what I mean? What does Fox think of Sunday's game?
I don't know if Fox is in there, if he's away in the background, if he's just off in the background.
What's your views?
I've settled down a bit for yesterday. I was upset because we never played that well.
I know Fox, yeah.
All in all, for me, it was down to a couple of things. Failure to take chances, and then they admitted mistakes at the back. And you don't win games when you leave yourself open at the back like that.
No,
and you don't win games if you don't take your chances.
If you don't take your chances.
Can I say something on the mentality of our players, mate? Rangers of our scouting division. Do we pick players on their background and how they behave rather than taking chances with the odd rocket, as we would call them, and signing him? Do you think that's a problem, that our players are scouted for their attitude and how they would represent Rangers rather than the toughness that sometimes we need?
Can I go in there, Rox?
Aye, but
I think that's exactly what it is, folks. I think that's exactly what it is, Ox. I think we're scouting players and we're bringing them in. And I love Stephen Gerrard to bit. I love just the gentleman, Ken, the way he conducts himself and everything. But we're maybe scouting just too nice a guy, Ox. We're maybe just scouting guys that are maybe just too nice. And if you've had a bit of a bad reputation in the past, we're not going near them. Ox, maybe that's what we need in our team. I'm not talking about horrible guys who's just going to, guys who's just going to kick folk when they're lying on the ground. But we maybe need an Alex Ray or one of these guys to come in and just ruffle up feathers. I mean, I just say that they two boys at Kilmarnock do it all the time. I think Fox has got a point there. It's maybe the scouting. We maybe just need to go for a different type, Ox.
Can I have a suggestion? Can we have a big 6'5" monster there, centre half, please? For 6 feet.
I thought we already got one.
No, you've no. Look at them yesterday.
I thought we already got one. No. 6 foot, is he?
Mambi Pambi.
Bambi.
That's what they are, Mambi Pambi. We're speaking about how Rangers players play, and they play nicely. They don't cheat. Yeah. They don't cheat that much anyway. No. And you know they're all of a sudden they're getting, shall we say, pressured by foul deeds and so on and so forth, and they don't seem to be able to do anything about it. And you talk about having somebody a bit rough and tough to get in there and break the play up or whatever. that we need somebody really rough and tough in the back, and in the midfield you want somebody the same. You do need that. You're not going to get it now. It's you won't get it this season. Maybe next.
Can I just make one final point? And then can I make one final point and then I'll go?
Yeah, we'll be joined
right.
Of course.
Right. I just you don't go up to the referee and use bad language, because I don't use bad language, but you could get 2 or 3 players that come up and say, look, referee, why are you letting this go? And the 3 players and done that and make a difference. But some of our players don't even do nothing. You've got to speak on the field and say, 3 of them come up to the ref. What's your problem? Why are you letting this go all the time and keep doing it? There's nothing up with that.
Maybe we're just too nice. Maybe we're just too nice.
Well, I'll speak to you soon, but watch out for the players I've been suggesting on Thursday. I think we'll win, but we need to block them off in the wings. And one final point, I would play Itten. They're not very good in the air. They're not very, because they get beat by a team in the league recently 2-0, and the guy was a big centre forward who scored a couple of goals.
If that's the case, I would play Douglas Bader.
Okay, take care, guys. I'll see you later. Take care, Banner. Bye.
Anyway, we'll be joined by my good friend from Los Angeles, Dale Ritchie. How are we doing, Dale?
Oh, it's not bad, mate. Aye. I kind of disagree there with what the boys said there. I mean, we had Morelos, who got taken out of the game completely, right? But that boy got knocked to the ground, and then he gets up and he complains, and he gets booked.
He gets booked, aye.
And you know what I'm saying? It's just it's pointless. And I think the way the refereeing goes in Scotland, at the moment, you're always going to get that problem where Rangers players, every time they react, there's going to be sending offs or bookings where it doesn't happen to the other teams, and it goes back to that refereeing thing all the time. I mean, that Robertson was terrible yesterday. Even for by the offside, that was the linesman. And I actually saw still photographs of that as well. And
he needs glasses.
Oh, binoculars he needs. I mean, for goodness sake, he was directly in line.
He's well offside.
Oh, he was miles offside. There was
also
daylight between him.
Yeah. Also, them two Hibs who've been sent off yesterday for their challenges. They shouldn't have been on the park.
Let Dale finish. Dave, please.
All right, sorry.
Come back to you. That's
all right. Sorry, mate. No, and that's what I'm saying. It's just, I don't think, if Rangers try and challenge, the boy was talking about going up to talk to the referees, you can't go up and talk to the referees. You'll get sent off.
Yeah.
Or you'll get booked.
Here's what we need. We need a diplomat like this man. All Bear, how are we doing?
I'm good, guys. How are you all doing?
I'm all right, mate. Dropped 2 points yesterday. Disappointed, but sometimes we've got to go on another really good run now. It's all about how you react.
It's all right saying it, Ox. We just keep putting pressure on ourselves. It's silly. It's just stupid. It doesn't even need to happen this way if we would just show a bit more bottle. But we're now piling pressure on ourselves. We need to do this and we need to do that. You ever hear that mob across there saying anything like that? They just go out and do it. They just go and win the game when you need to win the game. We just don't. We've not got steel in the team, and that's a fact. Everybody sees it. Not just certain supporters. Everybody sees it now. There's no steel. Golson spends his time shouting and bawling, but you know a blowhard when you know a blowhard, man. He's just talking crap, man. He's just shouting for the sake of shouting. Action speaks louder than words. No, I mean, you've got to go out and show them. Crunch somebody. I've never seen him crunch. Somebody said earlier on, I've never seen Golson or Tavernier or Barisic crunch MD. Nobody. I've never seen it. Yeah, our players are getting booked all over the place, and you're saying, what are we getting booked for? It's all stupid stuff we get booked for.
Waving to the crowd, blowing kisses.
Aye, and stuff like that. But I'll tell you, who's in charge of your scouting? Is it Snow White? Is it just the Wasp she wants to sign? No, I mean, have we got a height restriction? We don't buy him over 5'7".
So you on the bus we took Pine Full Fair, mate.
What's that?
Don't we go on the bus without paying full fare, you know?
It's madness. You know, what? I mean, this boy that's going on about Preston, I believe he's not even tall. You know, what are we doing here, by the way, guys? We've got a full set of dwarfs now.
We need an Albert.
We need something. We need something. But I mean, we're all experts of what we need. We all get our own opinions and experts of what we need. But the fact of the matter is, we've no a presence on the park. We're just, aren't we? We're a team of dwarfs, not on the park. And you're going, I don't mind that. We're all brilliant football players, but they're no brilliant. They're good football players. We're not brilliant football players. And we need somebody to start taking care of these boys, because these boys are getting the crap kicked out of them in every game now. It's not right. It's not right what's happening. Because you're not going to get any protection for these referees, none whatsoever. It's because you wear a blue jersey, no protection. You are the big club, you can take it.
When you really think about it all, better, I think we'll get sometimes different opinions about slightly different things, see things different. That's how football is, yeah? Fair.
Mm-hmm.
But when you think yesterday, that dragged down Kent's legs, the forearm smashes, and Morelos throws his arms out and gets the same punishment as them.
It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. But I'm going to call it out now, because I kept my mouth shut in the Livingston game because I didn't want to go down that road. But I'm calling it out now. The boy Devlin throws his arms up, petulant like Alfie does. Alfie gets booked, and that boy didn't get booked. Now you're looking at it and go, what's the difference? What is the difference here? There is only one difference. One's black, one's white. It's a racist. They're acting like racists now against wee Morelos. It's no right, by the way, what they're doing to that boy. It's completely wrong. Sometimes he should be booked. Sometimes he should be sent off. But it's ridiculous now the way they're treating that boy. It really is. And I'm one of the biggest criticizers about Morelos when he starts all that petulant stuff. I've no time for it. You're going, there's better ways to get your own back, son. But if the two of you do the same thing, the opposition do it and you do it, and one gets booked, two gets booked. If one doesn't get booked, well, the other one doesn't get booked then. It's as simple as that. So I'm calling it over it is, mate. It's racist. It's racist decisions they're making now. It really is. It's bad.
You're not the first to say that, but I get your commentary. I think he has been singled out. Dale?
Well, can I just add to that? Well said, Albert. I don't think it goes quite as far as what you're saying, but I do agree. But I think it's more to do with because it's Rangers. And that's all I think it is. It's purely the hatred that's getting festered inside Scottish football for the Rangers. It may, in fact, be a bit of racism in among it as well, although I wouldn't be the person to say that. But seriously, it's anything to do with Rangers. They're fair game on the park. Fair game, and we've seen it. God knows how many games in a row we've seen it. We're watching it. This team, blah, blah, blah. No, that's right. That's wrong. It's totally wrong. And what's sorted?
And you come, Dale. I see desperate again there.
Well, you know, I don't really agree with the racism as far as, black and white's concerned. But it doesn't matter where Morelos is black or white. He's Alfredo Morelos. And, he's got that thing about him that he's going to get booked in almost every game he plays in, right? No matter what referee it is, right? They're all just after him. It's just like he's, you call it a red card to a bull, right? If you want. And I think it's a shame because, that's what I'm saying. If you saw him at the weekend there, then having said that, he knows how to defend himself as well. When he got that elbow in the face and went over, you saw that kick in as well, He's no daft, when he gets the petulance, that's just the way it is. I mean, he got completely taken out the game. There was no intention to get the ball. It was just to block him, just knock that boy over, and that's it, And I just think it's got to a stage now where it's just, we're a laughing stock, when it comes to the way we treat the games up here. Even though I'm not up there, but, if I was.
You're talking about the standard of refereeing in Scotland.
No, it's terrible. As a whole.
Mm-hmm.
You look at that Porteous as well. Did he know, deliberately handball, the week before? And Colum never even acknowledged that.
To be fair, on the floor it with two horns, mate,
Aye, I mean, it's ridiculous, and really, I think there's got to be a revamp the whole system, the way the refereeing system's run. I know there's no money right now, but these guys have got to be properly trained, and I just don't know what the solution is, but it just seems that every time that Rangers play any team, there's controversial, decisions against Rangers every single time.
What do you think that is, lads? What do you think it is?
What's that? Sorry, say again.
I'm saying, why do you think that is with Morales and that, with the racists and that? It shouldn't be happening, should it?
I don't think so, because it's never.
I'm in the Bridgman camp than Albert. I get where Albert's coming from. I can see his rationale, but I think it's more an anti-Rangers thing. The route to wind us up, the route to the hatred in Scottish football. Maybe you could argue it's political. Maybe you could take it to Albert's point of view, but I do think Alfredo Morelos is refereed at a different standard to every other player in Scotland. George Logan?
I think so, Ox. I think so. I mean, we keep on going back to certain things. If this was Alfie that done that, or if that was that one that done that, Ox, we shouldn't need to say that. Ken, if let's say they're not cheating and they're just not good enough at their job, Ox. The one that happened to be Alfie last week, if that had been Alfie that done that, Ox, I'm thinking a 3 or 6 game ban just because of who he is. It's simple as that, Ox. And that's pretty sad, because that's telling you they're cheating at the games, Ox. And that's the thing. I mean, the one with the one you were talking about yesterday about Ryan Kent, that's not even a tackle, Ox. That's just a scuff to try and get at somebody. It's as simple as that. And things like that. If that was the other way about, Ox, I'd like to think it would be the same, but you can guarantee it wouldn't be the same, Ox. It would be a sending off and a red card and a suspension because it's a Rangers player and because it's Morelos or it's Kent or something like that, Ox. And it's actually quite sad, to be honest about it.
What's happening, George? These markers are getting laid down and nothing's happening to them. They're not getting booked when they should get booked. And it's then influencing the game as the game goes on, because they're still
That's exactly it, Ox. It's a marker getting put down. It's the good old-fashioned thing. I mean, that's what Bridgman used to do. Bridgman used to go out and do that before a ball had been kicked, and nobody would go back near him. Now what's happening? It's happened to the Rangers players, Ox, and they're putting down a marker. And they bring us back to that point again. If we got somebody that is putting in a marker, I don't think we have, Ox. And a lot of the times the guys are putting in markers, and normally if that's what happens, you'll say, well, he can't tackle for the rest of the game, Ox. But he's not getting booked, so he can do what he wants for the rest of the game. And we're a guy doing. I mean, last week it was 4 guys and things like that. So it's sad to think about it like that.
Can I ask a question, Ox?
Yes, John. Yes, Fox. Sorry.
Would MD be surprised if Claire, the compliance officer, has a look at the Hibs tackles and suspends them for Sunday's game against Celtic?
Oh, I would be very, very surprised.
No, wouldn't it be, Fox? For obvious reasons.
Good point.
Call me cynical. Anyway, we've been joined by Alex. Evening, Alex.
Hi, Ox. How you doing, lads?
All right,
hi, Alex.
Yourself?
Hi, Badge. Yeah, fine, mate. Fine. Enjoying the show tonight again. Fox just stole my point there, you old bugger.
Did
he? Sorry about that, Alex. Sorry about that.
Script, Alex.
By the way, Alex, he's no sorry at all.
At 9:30, Fox was to come in with that point.
I think somebody must have passed him a note there. I was just going to say that. What's the odds on the compliance officers coming in now and banning some Hibs players because they're due to play them? But listen,
I'd like to bring that up, but we've already discussed it, Alex.
Nah, listen, I think it's an obvious.
The slightest, would it you?
No, it wouldn't. I just think it's an obvious anti-Rangers bias that's out there. I know we don't like discussing it and what have you because it sounds like paranoia, but it's getting too obvious now. You know, the fact that Dundee United got away with that challenge last week in Alfie, I'm amazed the club didn't come out and say something about it, because it's basically gave every player in the league a free roll with our team now just to kick us off the park because they know the referees aren't going to do nothing. They're smirking at every challenge and every yellow card to get away with. But as soon as George says, as Alfie throws up his arms about a challenge, the referee couldn't book him quick enough. So that's the same punishment as a guy forearm smashing somebody in the face or, stamping in Kent's foot. It's not right. It's not right. But we need a physical challenge out there. I suggested that to you on Friday by getting Balogun on the park. We just miss a physical challenge out there. If the referees aren't going to protect our players, then we've got to start protecting our own players because they've just got to kick Hadji and Kent, free will.
I think there's a guy we're missing. We might have missed, and we have missed him since he got injured because of his presence on the pitch. Believe it or not, is Joe Aribo. Albert, he's 6'2", can't be best about, and he can play.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I mean, he was playing blinder there up until he got injured. I'm not quite sure how he actually got injured right enough, but
he fell
was it against Kamara?
Back for him, he fell on his back.
Oh, was that what it is? Aye, we miss him. We really miss him. We miss Jack as well, I suppose. But that midfield, as I've said on Sunday after the game, that midfield, the Arfield, Kamara, and Davis, it just doesn't work, guys. I'm sorry. That midfield is rotten, absolutely rotten. Doesn't work. They can't play that midfield again. Honestly, they can't do it.
What's the problem, man? What's the problem?
They'll make it. Davis can't get up the park quick enough to influence the game the way he normally do it. And Arfield has just not got a football brain. He really hasn't got a football brain. Plenty of energy, but not got a football brain. And Kamara, he just strolls about too slow for me. If he would quicken his game up and start actually looking for a forward pass and even taking shots. I mean, I don't know many times he gets set up in the edge of the area and to have a shot and never took the shot. You're like, can't he just shoot? But no, he doesn't do it. They're not good enough for me, guys. They just aren't, and they don't control a midfield either. They don't control a game. None of them do. So that's, for my mind, that's no good.
Did you miss Stephen Davis's pass through to Kent yesterday? Did you miss Arfield's goal?
Arfield's goal was all right. It was good. It was the wee man Hadji that you don't like who made the goal. Let's be honest. I mean, that wasn't Arfield that made that goal.
I don't know.
But the Davis pass was excellent.
It might have been the ball for Tavernier that started it.
Well, it was great. He's supposed to be, as you know.
You're going to be fair, mate. You're going to be fair. Come on.
I never said anything about Tavernier. I just kept telling you Tavernier can't.
It was Tavernier that started it when he pinged the ball in. He pinged the ball into the 18-yard box. A real hard pass, passed it in.
And you could say it was McLaughlin that threw the ball out to him, and it was the ball boy that gave it back. Come on, you keep going back. I'm not getting it, Tavernier. I just say Tavernier can't defend. He just can't defend. He can't argue.
Very argumentative, Albert.
She's on the bone short rations on the weekend, and you're suffering.
No, she's after a week's holiday. That's what's caused this.
You want to come do this thing with me?
I like it's fine with anybody. I want out of you.
I've told you before, book your holidays away when she's off.
But we all can argue the point. We can argue.
You're saying it's the blend.
It's not right.
They're all. There's a muchness about them all. Yeah, we just need to get the blend right. And I think at the moment I'll go to George this, and then we'll go to Alex. But I think we are trying to sign a midfielder, but it has to be a certain type. George.
Aye, that's right, Ox. That's right. I mean, I keep on raving on about a team, and I can't remember hanging about dropping points yesterday, but I'm still over the moon with the team we've built. I think you said last year, for the team we had last year. The problem for the team on Saturday was that was the team to last year, Ox, and that was the problem. We need that guy in there. I can't put my finger on. I can't see who it's going to be. I've seen names bandied about. I don't know if they're the right people, but we need that one guy in there just to finish that jigsaw for me. And I ken it's going to be one of the boys who are going to have to drop out. But Jack and Hadji and Kent are really starting to make a wee partnership now. We're starting to get a wee bit of blend between the strikers and the midfielders. If we just get one more guy in there, just to toughen us up and just be that wee final key in the cogbox, I think we'll do well this season. It's a really day.
All right, Alex.
I would agree with that, George. What you also said earlier about, I would say I'd agree with we're the best footballing team in the league. But see, when it comes to games like yesterday, we have to go to, it'll be the exact same at Fir Park on Sunday. We need to be able to mix it up with them, because they're not as good a team as what we were. We'll play around about them, but see if they're allowed to put the boot in, we've got to retaliate and put it in back. I just think that players are still getting into their shell like the last couple of years because we're not getting any protection off the referees. So, as I said yesterday, when teams come to us and start putting a boot in, we need to match fire with fire and let the referee make decisions. But as it is, we're getting bullied again.
We'll let the referees make decisions and we'll be doing to 9 men.
Well, at least we'll not get bullied then.
It's a hard game when you get 9 men. Can I ask you something? And I've been cynical here when I've looked at the fixtures. Fox, I'm going to ask you this, mate. See this supercomputer, these 2 qualifying games that last week, this week, and then we're away from home. Do you think that's just random?
Of course it is. It's as random as the Celtic game getting put back to the last game of this round of fixtures, mate. That's how random it is.
Is it just me? I'm being cynical. George Logan?
Well, the thing is, Ox, I mean, how long did we have to play games last season? And I don't like being this guy, but how long did we have to play games last season, Ox, before we could catch up with games that we hadn't played, games that had been called off, and games when we're playing in Europe and things like that? And all of a sudden, everybody's played the same amount of games again, Ox. I mean, it's crazy the way it all works out for certain teams. And I'm not even a paranoid person, Ox, but it's there for everybody to see.
Well, go to a paranoid person, Albert.
You know my thoughts on it. No, I mean, I've said before, I hope they never use that computer for the lottery. I mean, because there's only one team ever going to win the lottery for now to doomsday. It's ridiculous. We all know it's a fix. It's totally fixed. It's garbage. Now they're talking about that last game in October with them changing it again because there's not going to be any crowds getting in. So it's just corrupt. The whole thing's just corrupt. What do you do? Nobody's going to do anything. That's what we do because they've got too many people in position to kill any argument, to kill any complaints. So you've got to go on with what you're going to go on with. But
Albert.
You're going to keep winning battles, mate, because eventually we'll win the war, mate. Yeah.
That's that. We victories all over the place we need to keep getting. That's what it's all about.
I'm not going to even ask you, Bridgman, because your wife's warned me about you've got to keep calm. He's not even answering me. Alex, any thoughts on it? Just this random computer?
I was actually...
A random computer? No, I don't think there's such a thing as a random computer. That's a lot of rubbish in it. It's just set up. Albert's right.
Your name's no Alex, it's Bridgman.
Oh, okay.
No,
sorry,
carry
Alex.
on, Bridge, man. Carry on, Bridge.
What I wanted to know was if the panel were going to discuss the non-shaking of hands after the game.
No, and I'll tell you why. That guy doesn't deserve the oxygen or publicity that came for last season's assault on Borna. Alex, carry on, mate.
I will get back to your super computer, the fixtures that's come out. I mean, we've been to Pittodrie, we've been to Livingston, we've been to Hibs, we've got Motherwell to go to, and we're scheduled to go to Celtic Park on the first 11 games. They've played all their challenges at home, so that'll reverse its side. So I'm not too worried now, but I'm just a wee bit concerned that maybe Gerrard is fun a team in a system, but he needs to also show adaptability with throwing in, a physical challenge for games like yesterday and for games like next week. But I know it's corrupt as anything. I agree with you, Albert.
All right. Any positives for yesterday, Albert? 1 down, come back to 2-1, showing a bit of character even. You give them that.
Oh, aye, that was great. The big positive for me, as I said yesterday, that's not our best team. So, from that point of view, it's a positive. If it was our best team out there, I'd be really concerned, really concerned. But I know it's no. That's no the team that I say it's going to be special. That team yesterday's no. The team I know was Aribo and Roof, Itten and Jack, no them in it. That's the team that I'm saying they've got potential. But we definitely need to sort that back line out. That back line's no right. There's something no right with that back line. It's the obvious ones is the fullbacks can't defend. They can go forward, but they can't defend. So you can't win leagues like this, guys. You just can't. It's madness, absolute madness to try and think you were. We need to get solid at the back. Okay, we went that wee run of games. We never conceded a goal, but it's a false dawn. It's not really an achievement, is it? Really, honestly, considering what we were up against as well. All right, I'll take it. You always take it. It beat their record. That was good. That was quite funny. But you don't take much out of it as we've got a solid defence. I don't see us get a solid defence at all. And why McKenna's gone to Nottingham Forest and quoted at £5 and £7 million and Goldson, isn't he? It's because McKenna is aggressive. You've got to be aggressive as a centre half. You've got to be. We've got two nicer guys. They're really nice guys, and you can see them nice guys. Probably great to go out for a pint, you know what I mean? You get a laugh out of them, but not aggressive enough. Just not aggressive enough.
I wouldn't roll up with you because you stood me up.
Well, you didn't tell me an odd day job.
No, he likes to think he's a footballing centre half, and getting mixed up with people that are wanting to rough and tumble it is not his game. Definitely not his game.
I think I'll go to watch. I'll go to George when I say I'll go to watch it. I accept that as a team yesterday we had a poor performance through the piece. We had some people done okay, some people weren't so good. You want to lose football matches as a team, Georgia, or do you draw them as a team?
That's it, Oxen. I mean, I said earlier on, we were on here out to a man, I think, last week, one day, and I heard everybody talking about Tavernier. Giving him the credit he was actually due because, I mean, the amount of games he's played, the goals he scored, and what he's actually done. I mean, people for what he's done has gone down south to England for crazy money. We paid $200,000 for him. So we give the players the backing when they deserve it, Ox. And the same again, I mean, when they're due a bit of criticism, Albert's right, that they're due criticism and they get the criticism. But let's be honest about it. We've dropped 2 points yesterday, Ox, for everybody. It feels like a defeat because I thought we were excellent in some of the games. I thought we deserved some of the things. We Alfie deserved the win yesterday. But I think it's good to be hard on the team sometimes, Ox, because that tells us where we want to actually be going. We're not going to be doing this all season. I think we'll come out on top of this league at the end of the season, Ox. I think that's the most important thing. And we're criticising the game now because that was yesterday's game, Ox.
Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts, Dale? Was our greatest performance? We should have maybe won the game, but we didn't.
Well, you know, I think performance-wise we were good, but it was just. I think what it is that you know, as I think it was Albert was saying that there wasn't that much competition. In other words, we didn't have attacking teams, you know, in the first few games of the season, and we've got Hibs now who set himself up to be an attacking team, and I think that's where we get found wanting, because we were all raving about Hollander and Goldson, how well they'd done and all the rest of it, but they didn't really have that much to do, until yesterday, and then when they were up against it, you saw the cracks.
Okay, well, good point well made. So I'll ask you this question, and I'll start with Alex. Who's your centre backs on Thursday, Alex?
On Thursday, I would bring in Balogun, and I would pair him with Goldson.
So we're taking over natural left-sided back. Okay, Albert.
To me, it's not even a question, mate. You know what he's going to do? It's going to be Hollander and Goldson. Doesn't matter what they do, they're playing.
So he'll no change it. There's no way will he change it. And don't get me wrong, I think Hellender's the best defender at the club. I'll be honest with you. I do think he's the best out them all. But he'll no change it. He'll no drop Golson and he'll no drop Hellner. No chance. And by the way, Balogun's there as a standby. Everybody keeps getting carried away with this boy. He's there to cover Hellender. That's what he's there for. He's no there as a first pick, a first team choice. He's really no.
Dale, who's your 2 centre-halves on Thursday?
That's getting increasingly difficult to answer now. But then, having said that, if you look at in the past European games, when Helander hasn't been playing, we had Katic and we had, he's obviously not going to be there. I would take a chance in Balogun, to be honest with you. I've got a feeling I would love to be able to replace Connor Golden, but I don't think that's going to happen. Just give him that game out, just to learn his lesson. Just stop making these stupid mistakes, because every time you do, it costs us.
Rich, man, who you starting, or who do you think will start? 2 different ways.
I think the defence will stay the same. I don't see probably no need to change it. They're the most experienced. They're fit enough, as long as there are no injuries. But they seem to be fit, and a couple of errors. They'll get over that. I think they can't afford to change. But don't get me wrong, Gerrard's done it a dozen times now. The team looks nothing like what you think. But my back four would be the back four. I think he would start with McGregor, but in goal.
Do you think that's McGregor going to come back as number 1?
I think he'll come back in for the European ties.
Mm-hmm.
All right, mate, all right. Okay, George, who's your 2 centre-halves? And then we'll go to Alex.
I don't think. I like Big Balogun, I really do. I think we've found a bit of a centre half there. The first few games, the one where he's challenging, he's hitting the post. I like that. He's a big tough guy. But for me, if you've got to change anything at all, the one that made the mistake yesterday was Golson. But I don't think he will change it. I don't think it's the right decision to change it. It just knocks the boy's confidence, if I'm perfectly honest.
Mm-hmm. One mistake. Maybe 10 games, Alex. It's not bad, is it?
For me, Connor Golson, I was a big critic of him last year for making mistakes. But for me, up until yesterday, he was faultless. And fair enough, he didn't have the best of games yesterday, but you could throw that at a lot of players in the team.
I thought he was all right up to an hour. Then the wheels came off dramatically.
I know. Aye, which was alarming. I like Dale's idea. He could possibly kind of punish him just to leave him out, but I just think he's his go-to man. He's best centre half. So, but listen, I also agree with Bridge. I think McGregor will come back in on Thursday, and that kind of puts the goalkeeping position up for debate if Allen comes back in and has a good performance. Although I thought McLaughlin was reasonable yesterday. I don't think he'd much chance with the two Hibs goals.
What did he had in the first 10 minutes, Alex?
Yeah, I know. But listen, there was just too many that didn't perform yesterday. Instead of giving us a good 7 or 8, they were all running about 4 or 5, and that was the problem for us.
I mean, I didn't give Golson pass marks because of his last half an hour. I didn't think Borna had a good game. I thought Helander was the best of the back four. Tav done okay, just okay. Midfield, I thought Kamara was pretty anonymous. Davis was my best player. Hadji, nice bit of skill, but not enough for me. Morelos okay, and Kent brave. So with about 4 players playing, and we need at least 6 or 7. Dale?
Easy. I mean,
if I go by Arfield flatted in and out, scored a good goal. Should have won us the game as well.
He scored a good goal, but what I think about Arfield though is that there's too many of these ones where he just takes a shot and it just hits off somebody. I mean, that second goal was great play by Rangers. all round. It's a hard one to say because I think they just need that attacking force in midfield. You need an Ian Ferguson, somebody that's not scared to tackle and is not scared to hit a ball. Because to be honest, it's getting, you always get around that time where you need a change. And I think that's what it is. They seem to have sorted the forward line out, as far as I can see anyway. Even though there's been injuries, it's just that midfield. They've got to mix it up there. There's too many slow players in there. It's just not attacking enough. The defence obviously it leaked yesterday. Well, let's just see what happens with that one. I don't know. It was a weird game yesterday in that sense, but it was almost predictable. Do you understand what I'm saying? Frustrating.
I'll go to news. When we go 2-1, did anybody see any danger? Because I didn't. It unravelled in front of me. Albert.
No, once we went 2-1, I'd seen that Hibs team heads going down. But the trouble I had with that is the team on the park didn't sense it. They really didn't sense it. Going, no, if you score the third, that game's done. That game is finished. But they didn't sense it. And then they might have sensed it. I don't think they did. They might have sensed it, but their finishing is atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. We really need to get that sorted. We need to get that sorted. The same as last season as well. We missed chance after chance. The Hearts game, there's that many games last year that we missed chance after chance, and it costs us all the time. If we could just take more of the chances, we'd be out of sight of these teams. But I felt Hibs he'd gone down after 2-1. Once we went to 2-1, you could see them, the energy just draining out them. And then when Kent took that shot and the keeper saved it, that seemed to give them a boost again.
He was the man of the match there, goalkeeper, if I've been fair, Albert.
Oh, I mean, the great saves. They're not going away for that. The boy deserved man of the match. Great saves. But I still think we should have buried him. I really do think we should have buried him.
Arguments. He's made the saves, hasn't he?
Oh, aye. And they were great. And if it was our keeper making these saves, you'd be ranting and raving about it, going, well, what kind of saves these are? Man, they're world-class saves. They're excellent.
That's right. George, how did you feel? I thought we were home with hose, and we come back and go to the second goal with it.
Aye, I did, Docs. And that's the thing. I mean, we're talking about the goalkeeper. See if we draw 2 each, Ox, and we turn around and we say, we never had many chances. Like Albert saying there, though, the goalkeeper had a couple of excellent saves, and it's just your luck, Ox. He'll go out next week, however they're playing next week, Hamilton Accies or something like that, and end up throwing 2 in the back of the net, because that's what happens. These guys come up and have a world, and that's just what happens, Ox. So for me, I mean, it would be different if we never had it. Couldn't say that at the end. I mean, we played well, and we weren't clinical enough in front of goal, and the goalkeeper had a good day, Ox.
Well, gentlemen, we've reached that time of the evening. It's over to Mr. Bridgman.
Well, what can I say? Excuse me, another great night tonight again, Oxtear. Well done. And well done to my colleague there, Big George Logan. Great stuff. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans here on Rangers Radio, great night tonight. Every single one of us. Keep it going for the Rangers. Heads up now. Move on to Thursday. Keep it going.
Can I thank Albert, Dave, who have I missed? Dave joined us. Who called us earlier on that I missed? Oh, James. Always great to hear from Dutchie. Of course, James from Tennessee. Big Dale for California. We're covering a lot of bases in the States at the moment. Alex for joining us. And of course, Bridgman, Fox and George Logan for taking the time to be on the show. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10. Talk of all things Rangers. We will be joined by JFK. Take it away, Old School Blue.
They come from all of Glasgow, they come from near and far. They come from every Highland glen, from here to Lochnacar. They sail from dear old Belfast to the bonny banks of Clyde. They gather round to Timeless Park and loudly sing with pride. Oh yeah, it's R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, now set your mind at rest. Oh yeah, it's R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. The boys in blue, a vibrant
Robin, John Craig, McKinnon too. There's Baxter, Henderson, George McLean, they proudly wear the blue. There's Miller, Brandon, Wilson, what better could you want? Plus 70,000 Rangers fans that proudly sing this chant. Oh yeah, it's R-E-N-G and R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, I've set your mind at rest. Oh yeah, it's R-E-N-G and R-N-S. They're the boys in blue, the Vibrant side of Scotland's very best. Richie Shearer, Robin, John Craig, McKinnon too. There's Baxter, Henderson, George McLean, they proudly wear the blue. There's Miller, Brandon, Wilson, what better could you want? Plus 70,000 Rangers fans that proudly sing this chant. Oh yeah, it's R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, I'll set your mind at rest. Oh yeah, it's R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. They're the boys in blue, a vibrant side of Scotland's best.